Hello again, folks. It's, oh boy, Biliah the Sega Gamer. Sorry about that. This is my second time recording because when I was on Soft Museum, let's just say the video froze on me and Audacity crashed. So this is my second recording. And I was getting to the good stuff, but fine. I'll just have to repeat what I said again. Well, anyway, welcome back to Nights into Dreams. We just completed Mystic Forest. Now we're in the game. Now we're in the stage Frozen Bell. And of course, this stage is pretty much the last it's pretty much the last time you're gonna see one of Knights' formations. In the sequel, Knights has many more personas, many more formation personas, which he of course changed into multiple variety of things. But in this game, it's a dolphin and a bobsled. And for you Sonic fans, the bobsled gameplay may look familiar, if I gotta say so myself. But yeah, there's really not much I can say about this part. Well, it's our first snow level. To be honest, this kind of reminds me of Christmas Nights if you think about it. How ironic, seeing how I got both released there in the same year. Yeah, if you're not aware of Christmas Nights, it's pretty much an extra bonus disc if you manage to subscribe to Gaming Monthly or seen a Japanese commercial if you live in Japan. It's pretty much a Christmas rendition of Knights. Instead of being in the dream world, it's a Christmas theme world. But I'll show that off once I do the extras. I gotta get a drink of water. But yeah, there's really not much I can say. It does show what the Sega Saturn other color contrast besides the greenery. It shows it's whitery, and it shows what the Sega Saturn could do when it comes to crystal clear white color settings that pop out. That's why they made Knights purple for some odd reason, so it can pop out. Also, not only that, it's a toy factory at the same time. That's why, again, you get this Christmas Nights vibe. But yeah, I can't think of anything else to say. Looking at this level really makes me wish that it was winter. If it come to think about it, yes, winter is my favorite season of the year. Don't get me wrong, I like summer a lot, but with summer with the heat and everything, but being blazing hot, you can't barely enjoy it. That's why most of the time you gotta take a shower if you want to cool off. I love winter. Not only that, when you walk outside when it's snowing, you see that crystal clear white sky, and it's beautiful. Not only that, it's even more atmospheric when it's nighttime, and it's the only time where you see the sky red. Cause yeah, the only time you're gonna see the skies red is in Batman the Animated Series. But that show was nighttime all the fucking time, so well, except for certain episodes that had the Clock King. That took place during the day when it was raining. But forget about Batman anime series. Let's talk the rest about this game. But yeah, I like winter. It's probably like my favorite month ever. My only gripe about winter compared to summer is that the day is shorter. I like summer a little bit more because the day is a hell of a lot longer, of course. And not only that, sometimes wearing heavy winter coats can cause a lot of room, of course. Well, anyway, this is just me. Again, like I said, this is post-commentated. This is just me going through the stage again, collecting those points, because again, this is an art. Again, like I said before, NiGHTS is originally supposed to be like an arcade type of game, because Sega Saturn didn't really have a lot of mainstream titles, maybe except for a few series. Oh, before I talk about that, you Sega fans or you Sonic fans may see this gameplay familiar. This bobsled, you know the snowboarding section from Sonic Adventure? Yeah, it's heavily borrowed from this. Not only it's borrowed from NiGHTS, it's also borrowed from another Sega game called Steep Slope Sliders, and Steep Slope Sliders is a snowboarding game that was released for the Sega Saturn back in 1997. It was supposed to be that hit cool snowboarding game, supposed to compete with other snowboarding games back in the late 90s and early 2000s, especially games like 1080 snowboarding. So that Steep Slope Sliders came out in 97 and Steep Slope Sliders came out in 98, I think. I'm not sure. I should have done my research actually. But yeah, the gameplay is heavily borrowed from this. Yeah, the gameplay is heavily borrowed from this, of course. But so you can see like the inspiration from not only Sonic Adventure, they also brought this bobsled gameplay back again in Sonic Unleashed. But I'm getting ahead of myself, of course. Well, anyway, we're about to hit the next boss, which is a stupid, which the boss has a really stupid name because it's 90s, I guess, and his name is Klaus. But yeah, this is what happens if you run out of time. You turn back to the kid and do little platformy bit sections. Some people consider it to be a platformer, but I still consider NiGHTS to be like one of those 2.5D flying games where you fly through rings and you're on rails in a 2.5D setting. Well, anyway, before I talk about that, here's our next boss, Claus, which is a really stupid name. I guess it's supposed to have that radical 90s name feeling. Well, anyway, if you play this boss for the first time, you may get confused because this boss requires some strategy, believe it or not. But if you saw the gameplay there, basically all you gotta do is ram into these exploding mices before they home onto you. And if you can manage to leave one standing, he jumps on it and he can just bash right in with your drill dash. But there is an early way, just like Guildwing, if you could bash right in him in mid-air, so you can get, instead of 84, but 96 in your time to get more points. But, points? Who gives a crap about that? Only in this game, bitch. Well, anyway, we're already done with freaking Frozen Belle. Now we're gonna enter my favorite stage ever, Soft Museum, and oh boy, just listen to this. Well, anyway, yeah, I really do like the music in this stage. I really do like the music in this stage, of course. Why? Because it has freaking bagpipes. We're in a Scottish museum. Hey, me lassies. But yeah, it really does show what the Sega Saturn could do in terms of sound quality. Because you don't expect bagpipes in me video games. Well, we're in a museum and it does give it like a Mozart feel. So, and the NiGHTS games consist of not only some music that are pop related, but it's mostly orchestrated. Well, it makes sense. You're in a dream world and you can pretty much do anything magical in a dream world. But yes, we're in a Scottish museum. See mate? Me lassies? Sorry about that. I don't want to offend anybody who is Scottish. By any means. I basically look. There's basically an awesome Let's Play YouTuber who is named Scottish Duck 17, but I already mentioned that in my previous videos. Well, anyway, don't expect this stage to be a mystic forest clone, because believe it or not, there is something in this stage, and you actually go inside the museum. And there's tons of gimmicks that I like. Well, I wanted to talk about Clarice for a second because I wanted to talk about Clarice for a second because I was gonna bring Apollo Smiles, the voice of Ooh-La-La, into this Let's Play part, but when I contacted her, she wasn't there. I wanted to talk about Clarice because some Sega fans and some NiGHTS fans speculated that Clarice may be a younger version of Ooh-La-La, and I'll explain that why. Well, besides the pink hair, of course, besides the obvious pink hair, of course, some people may compare her to like an older version of Ooh-La-La from Space Channel 5, which is an awesome game. You should play it because it has Michael Jackson. Because in the first Space Channel 5 game, Ooh-La-La wears an orange hoop skirt. In this game, Clarice pretty much wears the same thing: orange shorts, an orange shirt. And in the sequel, Space Channel 5 Part 2, Space Channel 5 Part 2, Ooh-La-La wears a white skirt, and pretty much, Ooh-La-La wears a white skirt, and pretty much Clarice wears the same thing. She wears a white dress, just like Ooh-La-La from Space Channel 5, because near the end of this game, she actually sings at her play, of course. Except Ooh-La-La does more dancing in Space Channel 5, saying how it's more rhythm-based, and Clarice only sings. Also, I think you get your call. Some fans speculated that Elliot maybe Jaguar. You know that space pirate who evaded Space Channel 5, but he's not really the main villain. Spoiler alert! It's a person named Mr. Blank. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, Elliot Edwards maybe Jaguar because he has the same blue eyes. Some fans say that Elliot Edwards when he got older dyed his hair blonde that way. So yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what some fans speculated. Well, anyway, we got this cool, awesome 3D part. 3D! Yay! Shows off what the Sega Saturn can do in terms of 3D. Even though this game is mostly 2D, and it only gives the illusion of 3D because it's 2.5D. It's not really 3D, folks. It's mostly 2.5D. But yeah, that is a cool set piece. Again, I really do love Soft Museum. It really does show. It really does show what the Sega Saturn can do in terms of capabilities. Oh, this is my favorite gimmick. Seeing yourself through an optical illusion mirror. It gives. Again, it shows the effect of having this game showing the illusion of 3D. And you know, it's pretty cool. Sega would reuse this again in the game's sequel, Knight's Journey of Dreams, and basically instead of a soft museum, it's a shattered crystal glass castle, and you know it's the same thing. You see Knight's reflection in the mirror. You don't see the rings on the on the foreground, except this time you know in the background, and you gotta follow the rings where to go, or else you get lost. But you barely get lost in this stage, unlike Mystic Forest, because again it's going straight on rails. But I would advise you to don't drill dash a lot, because yeah, the boss, even though I like this stage, the boss is a huge pain in the ass. And his name is Jackal. Basically, they took the concept character design from Knights, but took out the body and only left his hands and feet. Hey, it sounds familiar. Sounds like Rayman. The evil Rayman! Believe it or not. Yes, Jackal is the evil Rayman! And there's the son of a bitch right now. Oh boy, what do I have to say about this boss? This requires even more strategy than it is. Basically, to make this boss easier, you're supposed to paraloop him. You're supposed to paraloop his cars. And if you can manage to paraloop the cars and make them disappear in your Vinkish black hole, your Vinkish purple black hole, you're supposed to charge into him with your drill dash. Then of course, bop him. Not one, not two, but 5 times! The other bosses is like you bop him once, you bop him twice, you bop him 4 times. This boss is 5 times. Now, this would have been the problem if the camera wasn't that too fucking crappy. And what do I have to say about the crappy camera? Well, if you get this evil Rayman a bop in the head with your drill dash, the camera goes sporadic, and you're supposed to bop him 5 times before he grabs on his cape. Because let's face it, that's where he keeps his cars, because Jackal is an evil magician. But basically, I cut that part out, and that's how you defeat Jackal. And I guess Jackal is pretty much Clarice's fears of magicians or clowns back in the day. I don't care who gives a crap. I defeated Jacko, the end. Here's my A rank. Goodbye.